Okay. Brilliant. All right, everybody. I always say that by God's grace, I get good guests in my podcast, and it just gets better and better. It just gets better and better. And this week's episode is a banger. I have seen Mr. Giles Rose's content on the internet. And I now went for a conference in London and I physically saw him. Very humble guy with all his accomplishments. He's so humble. In the UK here, we call him the Grant Cardone of the UK. That's who he is to us. That's who he is to us. To me, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on the podcast today, Mr. Giles. How's it going, brother?
Bro, I'm blessed, man. I'm well. I'm wealthy. I'm winning. I'm absolutely just so grateful to be here with you, brother, and just to share the journey, share the experience, and share some insights, man.
Brilliant. All right. So, when you were 17, you got news that you were going to be signed. Like maybe you got a news this week that next week the manager said to you that we're going to sign you up. You're doing very, very well. Mm-hmm. Then you're in the changing room, a new manager comes, and the new manager was calling out the list of people that were going to be signed, and your name was not there. And then there's something you said there. You said that from that moment on, you realize that it's not good for you to put your life in another person's hand, that control. I'm going somewhere. Because there's a way you interpret life that is so interesting. The second one was you were about to close a deal on the phone and your stepfather was playing some music downstairs. So you went downstairs, you were speaking to him. That moment you said to yourself, I've got to get my own place. The way you didn't interpret it like a victim. You interpreted it as an opportunity. It was a trigger moment for you. Then the last one was you went to a 29-year-old friend of yours' house outside London. He was doing his child's party or something. You stood in front of the house for over 20 minutes. You said to yourself, what? I can create this. You didn't get jealous. You said, I'm going to create this. So all your trigger moments, you reframe them and you interpret them in such a powerful way. Tell me about that. I just want to start the interview with that. I thought that was really, really interesting pattern in just studying you.
First of all, I am so humbled you had studied me so thoroughly to have a look at where was my journey at 17, where was my journey at 21, where was my journey at 29. I love that, brother. I love that.
Thank you.
And the thing is, we've got to go through life focused as a victor, not becoming a victim.
Mm.
A lot of people, they say, oh, I've had this struggle, or I've had this challenge, or I've had this experience. And they kind of look at where I am now and they go, well, surely you've never had this kind of challenge that I have. No. I've had hundreds of thousands of those kind of challenges, but the difference is I saw myself as a victor. I saw myself as, okay, what can I use this somewhat negative experience as? How can I use that negative experience as leverage?
Exactly.
My grandma would used to say to me, use your setbacks as a setup for your success.
That's right.
So one thing that you and I would understand about successful people is not that they don't go through challenges, it's that they don't let those challenges control their next action.
Fantastic. So they reinterpret those challenges.
Absolutely. How can you use that? How can you use that experience as something that's going to create an execution of leverage for you? And it's just repeating that frame, repeating that pattern. Look, one thing that I learned from football, Paul, was resilience, right? If you get the manager would always used to say, if you fall down, get back up and go again, right?
Yes.
So that's exactly what life is like.
Yes.
If something challenging happens to you, bang, use it as a creative source.
Wow.
You create leverage on the other side.
Yeah, that's powerful.
And that's all we're continually doing through life. But most people, they back away from challenges. They back away from things that scare them. They back away from things of the unknown. If you don't step into the unknown, then you're never going to know.
That's right.
And if you don't know, then you don't grow.
That's right. Spot on. That's what Nassim Taleb calls being anti-fragile. That which does not kill you actually makes you stronger. That's powerful. Indeed. Yeah. So one of my favorites, I call him my surrogate grandfather. He's 99 years old. His name is Charlie Munger. He's Berkshire Hathaway. Brilliant man. He just turned 99 in January. I love him so much. In fact, I'm reviewing his book this month in my WhatsApp community. He said something. He said, reading books is a form of leverage. And in researching you, someone asked you once and said, you wrote a book, why? And the words that just came out of your mouth was, you said leverage. So I look at it that you have two dimensions to it. There's leverage in writing the book. There's leverage in reading the book, because I know that Think and Grow Rich actually shaped your life a lot. So I want you to speak to that, the power of having a book written and reading the book, the impact that those both ends of the spectrum has on you.
Yeah, so the power of obviously reading the book is
Good.
really about downloading somebody's 20 years of experience, having done something, and being able to, again, use that as leverage to leapfrog in your life.
That's right.
Because if you can literally take, like, it's just so amazing, glorious, the amount of wealth, wisdom, and ideas that we have at our disposal. But
That's
most
right.
people don't want to access that level of experience. But the more experience you're loading experience into your lifetime. You know, people say, well, how do people make so much money in such a short period of time? It's because they've loaded so much experience from other people. You can't live that long in order to learn everything that you're going to need to learn in order to create the leverage that you desire in your life. You've got to then compound that from other people. And I saw your video the other day about compounding.
Yes.
Compounding your experience.
Yes.
It's not just money that compounds.
Yes.
It's that compounds.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You would have seen. You would have seen. You may have seen the You may have seen the reels that I put up of one of my clients who's now gone from making £32,000 a year.
Yeah.
Has now created 2.1 million
pounds. Yes.
Why is that? Listen, I put up that same person a year and a half ago, talking about how she had doubled her income in her job. But what's happened? She went from 32 grand to doubling her income in her job, leverage number one, and the knowledge and experience that she's gained from one course has compounded over time.
That's right. That's right.
And that compounding has created her 2.1 million pounds.
Yes.
So it's taking knowledge, it's taking something, and what she's done is she's downloaded my experience, my knowledge, my expertise, packaged that into her own way.
That's right.
Created her own business and created her own leverage.
Yes. That's right. That's right. That's powerful.
And that's the same thing with writing a book, brother.
Yeah.
Like you write the book, it is exposing you to be able to formalize the experiences that you've had. And to be able to focus on it so that you can then really distill all of you. Everybody has knowledge and experience of something.
Yes.
Whether it is parenting, whether it is childcare, whether it is relational experience and having a beautiful, wonderful, blissful relationship with your partner, whether it's a divorce that you went through, whether it is something personal, a hobby, a business, like you've all got experience. If you can distill that experience and put it onto paper, then it's going to allow you to be able to elaborate on that experience, communicate it in a really effective way, and then create currency from it.
That's powerful. That's very, very powerful, because I know that there's something you teach where you say, whereby all the skills that you have, write all of them down and see how you can make £1,000 from each of them. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was brilliant. Now let's go back to Charlie Munger again. He said that do not disrupt anything that is compounding unnecessarily. So I am sure that you've invested money in properties, in some things that you left to compound for a bit, and then the money went up. Why is it that people don't have patience? They don't allow things to compound. Why do they want the bling bling now? Why do they want to drive the car that you're driving right now? Why do they want to live the way Mr. Jazz Rose is living right now? They don't know that where it's coming from. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's very, very similar to what we were talking about earlier. It's compounding. You've got to be able to invest in yourself. So many people are scared, hesitant, resistant to investing in themselves. So here's the thing, right? People go to school, they go to college, they go to university, they go to their job or their business, and all of the time they've been learning from people who don't have the money that they want to create. So they've been learning from the teacher at school, all due credit and respect to them. They're not millionaires most of the time. They go to university, they're not learning from millionaires most of the time. They go to their job, they're not learning from millionaires. Maybe their CEO is a millionaire, but they don't have a relationship with their CEO more time, right? Or they don't have a close, intimate connection.
So
they're learning from Becky, Jane, and John, who are in the same or similar position to them, right? And then they wonder why they're not successful.
So there's this proximity thing that is critically important, because I heard you say once, you said that if you spend time with people, maybe 6 people that make 500,000 pounds a year, you'll be the 7th person. I screamed.
Yeah, yeah.
I screamed when I heard you say that.
I love it, bro, because
Yeah.
I said something today. I said your income
Yes.
is directly correlated
Let's
to
say, yeah.
the connections.
I saw the video. Yeah.
Who you connected to.
Yes.
Listen, like I wasn't born a millionaire. I was
I like
financially
that.
successful, right? But one of the things for me, I studied everything super hard that I needed to study in order to get to where I got to. And as you beautifully explained earlier on, I was about 29 years old.
Yeah.
And I was 31 at the time, I believe. And I'm outside my friend's house.
You were 31, he was 29.
Right, yes. So he's younger than me. And I met him, of course. And literally about 6 weeks later, I'm at his house. Said, yeah, come over. I'm having a birthday celebration or what have you. I'm sitting outside his house, and I'm like this. How on earth did this guy get this kind of massive yard? And like, I'm soaking in joy. And I'm like, if he can do it, I gotta find a way to do this.
Yes.
You know. And lo and behold, literally 18 months later, I'm in my dream home.
It's like, come on, man.
It gave me the belief.
Yes.
That this is not only possible, but it's possible if I put the right actions into play.
This is so powerful. So powerful. It reminds me of what Nelson Mandela said in his inaugural speech when he became president of South Africa. He said that, do you not know that when you live your dreams, you give other people the permission to live their own dreams? This is so powerful. This is so powerful because you said that money is a certificate of service.
This guy's done too much research on me. I love it.
You said money is a certificate of service.
Yeah.
So the more we demonstrate that we are capable for that certificate, we inspire other people to want to be like that.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Giles Rose, the number of people that you have impacted directly or indirectly cannot be compared to how much they pay you to do the work. Come on, man. We are underpaying you.
Yes, exactly. Nobody is going to pay me £2.1 million.
Yeah, we're underpaying you. This is so powerful. This is so powerful. There's something you said once. You said that someone asked you, said, how do you get you always talk about your FU money because the clean show. I don't want to use that word.
Yeah.
So let's say your FF money, your financial freedom money, right?
Yes.
You had this brilliant mathematics around it, and I'm not very great at math, but here's what you said. You said that you should just figure out how much you spend in a year, divided by 25 years. So times it by 25 years. So let's say you make 20,000 pounds a year. If you times it by 25 years, that's 500,000 pounds. You said if you invest that money, you get out 4% of that, which is the money that you leave the rest. I mean, I was like, wow. First of all, I want to ask a question. Why 25 years? And just unpack that for us a little bit.
Yeah, it's just the nature of compounding. So when you take your income or your desired annual income and then you multiply it by 25 years.
Yeah.
Well, 25 times 4 is 100%, right?
Yes.
So that's why it's 25 years, because 25 times 4 is 100%.
Yes.
That means that you can withdraw 4%, which will give you the original amount that you originally desired in the first place.
That's right.
And if in the stock market, the average growth rate is 8%, take away 3-4% for inflation, you've got 4% left that you can live on comfortably.
Yeah, that's powerful.
You've still got, sorry, it goes up to 10%, take away 2-3% for inflation. You've still got a gap of about 3% in order for the money to continue to grow and compound. So that's just easy mathematics that they don't teach you in school.
Yeah, they don't, man. They don't.
But you learn it from surrounding yourself with the right people.
Let's speak a bit about money consciousness, because you speak a lot about it. You said money is energy, and I believe that. There was a video you put out not long ago about your barber coming to your house to give you a shave for, I think, 75 pounds. And I'm sure you got a few pushbacks. Some people they couldn't handle it. Their consciousness couldn't handle it. But there was a line you said that I said, this guy is brilliant. He said, if you can't pay top pounds, something like that, you can't charge top pounds.
Correct.
I thought that was brilliant, because sometimes we don't charge our worth because we don't pay
Yes.
stuff like that to challenge our consciousness.
Yes.
So can you speak to that? Because it's a lot, is in the mind.
Yes, because money is all made up.
I like that. Man.
That's all made up. It's numbers on a screen, right?
Come on, man. Yeah.
It's all made up in our mentality. So people grow up with an experience and with an insight that, okay, this amount is a lot of money for me. For example, £100,000 a year was a lot of money to me growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Far exceeded what I thought when I was 15, 16, far exceeded what I thought I would ever be able to earn.
Yeah.
However, if you shift your money consciousness, then your reality around money starts to shift. So you've got to understand, like, a lot of people grow up with this experience that money is some sort of bad thing. Money is bad. Money is the root of all evil. We've had this, right? But you've got to understand that money is the seed that you need in order to succeed. Money is the seed that you need in order to share knowledge, share wisdom, share experience. Because if you don't have the money, you're never going to be able to reach enough people in order to impact enough people, in order to grow that experience and share that experience with other people. So let me explain it to you in an anecdote. There's a guy called Frank. He lives in a place called Struggle Village. This village is a few hundred people, but nobody makes much money. Everybody makes just enough to get by. Frank is really good at using his hands and carpentry. So therefore, Frank decides to go around the village, and he spots a table outside, and he knocks on the door, and he says, "Excuse me, what are you doing with that table?" So the young lady says, "Well, I'm waiting for the people to come and pick it up, but they're going to charge me £10 to come and collect the table." And he said, "Well, I'm really good at carpentry. Would you mind if I take the table for myself?" She said, "Yeah, please go ahead. Like, it's just in the front way." So, "All right, brilliant. So as a result of you giving me this table, I'm going to pay you £10. So the woman says, "Okay, fantastic, brilliant." So he takes the table, he pays the woman £10. How much has she gained so far? She was going to give away 10, but she's gained 10. She's gained £20 worth, right?
Yes.
The value is there immediately. He goes away. He goes to the equivalent to what B&Q was back in the day, and he buys some nails, he buys some varnish, etc., and he pays them £10. Value is there for B&Q.
Yes.
Brilliant. So he now goes away, fixes the table, varnishes it up, makes it look good and beautiful, and then he drives around the town again. And he drives around the village, finds a woman, knocks on the door, and he says, "Excuse me, do you have any need for a table?" And one of the people says, "Yes, in fact, my daughter's getting married soon. We need some more tables." He said, "Well, I've got one in my van. Here it is. By the way, how much would you pay for a typical table?" And she says, "Well, I've been looking around so-and-so. It's going to cost us about, £100. So he says, "Okay, brilliant. Well, I've got this table. It's refurbished for you. And like, it's secondhand, but it's only £40. So she says, "Brilliant. I like it. It looks good. Fits its purpose. I'll take it." That woman has saved £60, yes or no?
Yes.
So the new woman has saved £60. Bingo. He's made £40.
£40, yeah.
Yeah. He's paid £10 to B&Q, and he's paid £10 to the lady. So in profit, he's made £20. He's made the other person richer because made B&Q richer because they've gained £10. He's made the first lady richer because she's gained £20. And he's made the last lady richer because she's gained £40.
Yes.
Now, as this story compounds and Frank goes around the village and does this more and more and more, everybody gets richer, yes or no?
Yes. That's it.
Money consciousness. It's about sharing wealth. It's about sharing opportunity for other people.
But other people now look at it the other way around. They look for the money, not the opportunity to fix the table. So that's where they now get stuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
People ask themselves, whose table can I fix? Who can I serve? Who can I help? Because, as I said, money is a certificate of appreciation. So the more people that you can help, the more people you can provide service and value to, the more money that's going to come into your account. More importantly, don't miss the step, the more values that they're going to get on the other side, and the more enriched, the more empowered, the more elevated the entire community becomes.
That's fantastic. That is so fantastic. So what books or podcasts really add so much impact on you?
Right now, I like listening to Alex Hormozi's podcast on YouTube.
It's
Absolutely.
very good. Yeah.
Marketer, sales expert, etc. His book 100 Million Offers, one of the best books
Yes.
that I've ever
Yes.
read. I also read a book a few years ago called Your Money is Your Life, Your Money or Your Life by a lady called Vicky Robin.
Okay.
It's kind of like an old book that's not talked about a lot. A lot of people talk about, Rich Dad, Poor Dad and all that sort of, but it really triggered my mindset around money and how to create wealth, repositioning money as this kind of negative experience, but really repositioning it as a blessing. And it's really helped me. And I know it will help a lot of other people as well.
Fantastic. If you had to do this all over again, what is the top 3 skills that you will attack and develop immediately if you want to accelerate your wealth creation process?
I think there's one, and then I'll separate it into 3 areas. And this one is very, very important. Most people miss it. Communication is a gateway to currency. You cannot communicate effectively, you will never get the currencies that you desire.
That's right.
Yeah. And you are a speaker, right? So you
Yes.
know intrinsically.
It's powerful.
But most people will say, well, I'm not a speaker. But you are always communicating in order to generate currency, whether you're communicating with your boss at work, whether you are communicating with the finance director, whether you are communicating for a purchase or a sale in your business in order to attract a client. The better you can communicate your message, the more money you will attract.
That's powerful. Yeah. And that's because you are seeing communication as a skill. Because there's something you said, and I said, this guy is brilliant. You said every now and then you break your business into components and you pick a component that you want to, accelerate or know a lot about. You just go hard on it. You bet heavily on it. You watch all the YouTube videos you can watch. You read whatever you want to read. And then when you've finished with that block, you pick another block. That's what they call deliberate practice.
Yes.
So you are intentional. You are deliberate about the practice. So even when you said presentation, we don't want people to just leave here and start watching YouTube videos on communication. No, you pick it and you open a speech. What's the body of the speech? How do you close a speech? What kind of hooks are you going to use? So I want you to speak to that, your learning process.
Yeah.
Because you spoke about pacing and communication. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard this from Brian Tracy many years ago, which is if you want to learn anything, you want to become a master in any skill, follow the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 process, which is read 5 books on the subject, listen to 4 audiobooks and or podcasts regularly on the subject.
Yeah.
Speak to 3 professionals, friends, associates who are more experienced than you in the subject. Go to 2 seminars on the subject where you can learn more intentionally and deeply, and go to 1 conference. That will make you an expert on that subject.
Fantastic. But how many people do that?
Yeah, they don't. They're not intentional. They just go to their job. They say, oh, well, I just cut hair. I just do this. Or I'm just a hairdresser. Or I'm just a security professional. Or I'm just an IT person. No. You're not just an anything. You are an expensive human being with a multitude of skills. And as I said, right, list out all of your skills and find out how you can get paid from every single skill.
That's powerful. So Jazz, someone is watching us right now. The person says, you know what, I've got only £1,000 and I want to start my wealth building journey. Where did they start from? Yeah. What's the first baby step that they should start taking?
Yeah. Go and learn as much as you can with that £1,000. Take that £1,000, take 50% of it and invest in yourself. Invest in your skill set. Invest in something that's going to grow and compound for you over time so that you can become the most brilliant, abundant, and blessed version of you. Because that £500 that you invest into your learning, your knowledge, that's going to give you a skill set that's going to be able to produce for you an extra £500 per month. And then compound it. When you've invested the 500, now you've got an extra £6,000 a year. Brilliant. Go and invest 3,000.
Does family affect the wealth that a person creates? Because I heard you talk about your grandmother so beautifully. Once she told you that if you lie down with dogs, you rise up with fleas, something like that. So, and that wisdom stuck by you, to a very large extent. What role does our family, the ecology of our goals, play in our accomplishments? What is your partner, your spouse, your children? What role does that play?
Yeah, that's a fascinating question, Paul, and I think it's really a duality, because a lot of people would use their family experience as a anchor to say, I can't do this because
Come on now.
But other people would use that anchor as an advantage. Say, nobody in my family has done this. We all have negative experience, negative associations with our family, as well as positive associations with our family.
So powerful.
But the question is, how do you take those anchors, those little seeds, those little nuggets, those little experiences, positive and negative, and turn it into a phenomenal advantage for you?
So it's how you reinterpret it.
Yeah, because I went through like loads of challenging situations as a young man growing up. I didn't have any millionaires in my family. I didn't have any financially successful people around me. But I then used that as a navigation to say, no. Well, I've got to get around people who've had that experience of wealth that I wish that as I desire to create. And I've got to make sure that I become a remarkable blessing for my family. Don't come from a wealthy family, make sure that a wealthy family comes from you.
I like that. That's very powerful. That's very powerful. How do you handle challenges when things don't go your way? Maybe you were hoping for a certain client, you didn't get that client, or a particular deal didn't go the way you expected it to go. How do you get back to your peak state?
Yeah, great question. Go for a walk, write it down. What was the negative experience? How do I ensure that this negative experience never happens again?
That's right.
And then go and implement that in a system. So I had an experience, I think it was about 25, and we had a few big contracts with schools at the time. And one of the schools effectively stole my member of staff. And then they called me in and said, oh, Mr. Rose would like you to come in for a meeting. And I said, what's it about? And they said, oh, we can't disclose it right now. We'd love you to come in. And I was like, oh, it's a bit uncomfortable. Anyway, I go into the school, and the nuns, the fascinating ladies, they sit me down and say, we're here to tell you that we know that we pay you for the service that you provide here, but we'll be taking on your members of staff, and we will no longer be paying for you. And I said, sorry, but it says in the contract you can't do that. And he said, see this little clause here, 2.1, the little gap in it, and that means that legally this doesn't stand up. So what did I do? First, I was vexed. First, I was frustrated, annoyed. But again, I used that as a setback, as a setup for my success.
Yeah.
I went and invested in better lawyers to put a better contract together for me. To then make sure that was never a failure again in my business. And I was able to then grow the business because I had better contracts, better systems, and better.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. So you had a great post-analysis structure for it.
Yeah, indeed.
I remember when you said you started a business with just 30 pounds and you grew it to 3 million pounds, over 100 staff at some point, 150 people. And one day your accountant, somebody calls you and say, we can't make payroll this month.
You're bringing me back to the past.
You said what? And from that day, that was the basis of the Money Tracker, which is a best-selling product today. So like Ryan said, the obstacle is the way. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I got told we couldn't make payroll. I was first confused and concerned and just absolutely beside myself. But then I said to myself, it's because the numbers people, the accountants, the finance people, etc., they're very number orientated. I'm not a numbers type guy. I like to see things in visual. So I said, all right, from this day, I need to make sure I put together a sheet that shows me my numbers in visual. It shows me what percentage I'm paying to my staff, what percentage is going to my family, what percentage is going on my car, etc. So then that's how the Money Tracker was born. And then I created that tool initially for me, and I started sharing what I know, speaking, Communication is the gateway to currency. A lot of people find something, they'll find it useful, but they'll keep it to themselves. Say, nah, bro, I keep that to myself. No one can't take my team, right? But then they stay in a same or similar position. So I then started communicating about it and how it can help other people. And I promise you, by complete accident, somebody messaged me on Instagram and said, Jazz, this thing looks great. Where can I buy it?
Oh, the market sold itself.
And here's another mistake that a lot of people make. They would say, if they were me in that position, they would say, well, I don't have a website yet. It's not something that you can buy. Let me get a website together. Let me spend 3 months trying to sort it. I said, no. I said, send me the money to this account. I will send it to you.
Come on, brother.
Listen, this same thing happened.
I will figure it out.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I created the business by accident, by error.
Oh my God.
I created it by error.
Because everything is figureoutable.
Everything is figureoutable. I said, send it. And then over the next, I don't know, 2 months or so, about 50 other people said to me the same thing.
Oh, this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful.
Then I must have already made about £1,000 from this product. And I was like, I can't be bothered to be sending my bank account details.
Yes, you put a system to it.
I put a system to it. Now they go to the highlights on my Instagram, they check it out, they tap the button, and it pays me every single day.
So even while you're asleep, it's working for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
People will think, oh, well, I'm not gonna pay for it. Okay, we'll spend 12 years trying to figure it out for yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jazz, this is a fascinating conversation. I know that you're a very busy man, so I'm going to let you go, but I just want to ask you 1 or 2 more questions, and I'll call these a wrap. What's your morning routine like? Because I saw one of the videos and I saw your morning routine, like, yo, and what role does your routine in the morning play for the rest of your day?
Yeah, activation, man. The first thing I do when I get up is I often read something, and when I say all the time, I mean typically like 3-4 times a week, because not every day is the same, right?
Yeah. And
I think people get stuck up on routines that they've become so fixated on it, they forget to live life. They forget action on certain things. So most of the time, I would read something for 10-15 minutes. I would go to the gym in my house. I would put the steam room on. I would go in the steam room, soak up, meditate, think about what I need to create.
Very good.
Think about how I'm going to help more people to win. And then, have a shower and stuff, and then get my day started and then start focusing on creativity and helping more people to scale up.
Wow, this is such a fascinating conversation. I'm looking forward to a part 2. I have a feeling that we're going to do a part 2 of this conversation. That's going to be in person.
Love it. First of all, man, I've got to say, man, you were just absolutely fantastic at interviewing, man. I'm
Thank you. Thank you. I'm
very honored. Much diligence and research, man. I appreciate it. I'm humbled, my brother.
Thank you. So I always ask my guests this question. I said, after an interview like this, if there is one person in your circle of influence that you say, Paul, you've got to interview this person, I don't mind, I'll make the introduction. Who would that person be?
Can I do 2?
Sure.
You've got to go check out my friend, Dr. Byron Cole. You've got to go check out
Byron Cole, okay?
Phenomenal entrepreneur and business leader, phenomenal mentor, phenomenal business coach, just a phenomenal human being all round. And you've got to go check out my friend, Devin, the entrepreneur.
Wow, Devin. Okay.
This guy is young and thriving.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's making big shifts and big changes for a lot of people, and I'm so excited to see him grow even further, brother.
I will message them. I'll tell them I'm from you.
Love it, man. Love it.
Thank you so much, man. This has been a fascinating conversation. Where do people check you out for your stuff? I know you're very heavy on Instagram. I just subscribed to your YouTube channel as well. Where else can they check you out? What product do you think that they should start with first? Yeah. I'm going to put your product in the show notes on the.
The best thing to get to know more about me and what I do and how I help people is to check me out on Instagram. That's at Mr. Jazz Rose. That's JAZZ ROSE, no underscores, no numbers, just at Mr. Jazz Rose. YouTube, same, at Mr. Jazz Rose. And then just come and check out my free training. I do a free training every week, which shows people how to turn their skill sets into assets and create a scalable 6 or 7 figure business. And if people choose to work with me from there, the more blessings, the more we can create.
Are you on TikTok?
Yes, I am. Yeah, Mr. Jazz Rose as well.
Fantastic. So that they can also check you out there as well.
Perfect.
Wow. Thank you so much. I'm going to press stop now. This has been a